Good afternoon, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. I've got good news. I don't know what else to say. I'm excited. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. My name is Matthew Spear. I'm the host of Don't Unfriend Me. No, I'm not a financial analyst. I'm not a real estate developer. I'm not a day trader. But let me tell you, something very exciting is the next time you need a loan, go to your bank. And I want you to take your property value, whether it's worth $20,000 or $200,000 or $2 million. It doesn't matter. It can be worth $20 million. All you have to do is when they ask you how much it's worth, lie. That's right. Lie on an application. No, it's not fraud. All you have to do, it's really simple. Let's just say your home is worth $200,000. I want you to put it down for $20 million and you will get a loan for that amount. Yeah, I'll tell you how. It's really, really easy. Donald Trump did it. Simple. A property that was estimated to be $18 million, but Forbes in 2017 simply said it was worth $350 million. A judge assessed it as $18 million by having a person go who usually assesses property. This is a person who would create valuation on the property. We've all done it. An inspector, somebody who comes in and says, oh, let's see, this house sold for $500. This house sold for $475. Your house is worth $300. And you're like, what the hell happened? They have a pool, so therefore it changes everything. Anybody who sold a house has went through this. But the crux to this is that there are very special restrictions on how Mar-a-Lago, the property that Donald Trump is in question, of defrauding nobody. Wait a second. You can go to the bank. You can tell them it's worth this much. Lie. But nobody was injured because any of the money that he did borrow, he paid back and fulfilled the requirements of the loan. Who's the victim? If we can all just go do this. Wait. We can't? Why? Oh, I know why. Well, because banks check this kind of thing to ensure the property value matches at least something close to the loan. That's called security. Folks, this isn't hard. There's no victim. Nobody was harmed. Donald Trump did what? For tax purposes, said a property was valued at this, but for business purposes and asking for a loan, increase the value of the property. Be still my heart. Anyone who has challenged property taxes annually, who has a property like I do here, always want their house to be valued less than what it is for tax purposes, but want it valued above and beyond the current market when they're selling or they're making an investment into their property. That just makes sense. Why should that change for Donald Trump? We're going to go over it tonight. That is an intro. It's going to be interesting. Here it is. These are the players. Arthur Engoron. He is an eccentric, very strange man. He's a judge. We have a video. He's in New York. He doesn't like Donald Trump. For the last 3 years has voted against Donald Trump in just about everything. Not voted, but made decisions against Donald Trump. $110,000 fine, has put gag orders on Trump, and essentially just been a thorn in his side. The lady down below is Attorney General Leticia James. Now, this has been 6 years. There's nothing else this lady has done. She absolutely ran against her opponent and also rested on the laurels and ran her race based on, I'm going to get Trump. And I've got some video to show you that. I'm also going to show you the celebration that took place in the courtroom with the judge smiling like he is right now, showing absolutely no stoic demeanor. The Judge Ito of today, if you remember Judge Ito from O.J. Simpson trial. This gets pretty heavy. There is a lot here. First off, the New York Post talking about the property, Mar-a-Lago. Industry experts were left scratching their heads at the Palm Beach assessor's seemingly low estimation, claiming that the resort would list closer to $300 million. That's from the New York Post. We go into a picture of the Mar-a-Lago area. You can see that the Trump property is down below. But the first one is $37.5 million for a little under a half acre. $25 million for 0.4 acres. Another $25 million for 0.39 acres. $18 million at 0.29 acres. Going all the way south on the properties, you're looking at $40 million for a half acre. Now, Mar-a-Lago is 20 acres. 20. And not only does it bring in a lower valuation compared to all these other properties, but it's $18 million for 20 acres. Does anyone want to tell me that that doesn't add up? Does anyone want to do the Sesame Street math for me? No, I didn't think you did. Here is the court proceedings. That we're not supposed to have any cameras in there. They had pre-still photos. They had sketch artists, but the cameras were supposed to be turned off. But somebody allowed them to go ahead and have them on, which is the pool feed. A pool feed is when a camera takes, one camera takes video in a location, and then that feed goes to the news pool, which they can all use it in any way they want. Now, Fox had it, MSNBC had it, CNN had it. But the interesting thing is, why did they have it? Well, obviously to show Trump in about as much misery as this man could be in and continue to lambast him with trial after trial. When are they going to get to the stuff where it's actually criminal? This is all civil. Here it is.
Hey guys, this is the first look inside that courtroom. Our NBC camera is the pool camera here. They gave us a chance to shoot. So now
we have some people on the other side, prosecution, who are smiling and having fun. You're going to see Leticia James here giving him the death glare, completely set up. Locks eyes on the back of Trump's head for a good 30, 40 seconds to make sure the camera gets it. And then you're going to see Engoron smiling like a complete dipshit that he is going after Trump in just a second.
I'll see what's happening inside there.
There she is. A slight bouquet of unfocused, illuminated brilliance. You're going to see her eyes, laser beams right on the back. It reminds me of Alyssa Milano in the Kavanaugh hearing.
This trial gets underway.
That's DA
There's the DA James. Yep, right, sitting there. Actually, not at the front table. That's kind of.
Look at that look. And then look at the person next to her going, what are you doing? What are you staring at? You're staring at the back of Trump's head.
Interesting.
No, because she's not trying the case, so she's sitting behind her attorneys.
Yeah, the Attorney General there, Leticia James. Thank you so much. And there you see President Trump, the former president.
Now everyone says that Trump looks like he's in pain and he's upset. It's just Donald Trump. It's his resting face. He's just got this. I can't believe this shit's going on again. Okay, they're looking at what I think the overall damages in this somewhere north of $250 million is what they're looking for. There's no victim. Nobody was hurt. There was no grandiose scheme here. This wasn't fraud. This wasn't embezzlement. This isn't a white collar or blue collar crime. This is simply a person saying, I'm going to estimate my property low on taxes and I'm going to estimate it high when I'm going to go ahead and get a loan. Well, we've already said this. And every single American who owns a property, a business, or anything worth of value understands this is what you're doing. It's like going in and buying a TV. When you buy the TV, you want to go ahead and buy it at the lowest possible price. So you search for coupons, Black Friday deals, or something going on, an annual sale. But then if you sell it to your neighbor, you're going to want to get the biggest value you can and say what a great TV it was. And 2 years ago, this thing was worth this. So therefore, you're going to charge them 95% of MSRP 2 years later when the newer TV is actually more expensive. And you're going to try to talk your way into selling it for around the same price you got it for. And of course, nobody's going to do that. And this is not hard. Any businessman would do this, but watch the judge here in just a second.
Next to his attorney, and that's Chris Kise, who we expect to make the opening statements here. And then
Judge.
Look at this yutz. He's going to take his glasses off, show his pearly whites, and get on camera. And you can tell this is the man who got Donald Trump. This guy is going to go down as the guy who got Jesse James. Jesse James, right here, took him in the back with a couple of rounds.
The opening statements here, and then Judge
Engoron.
I guess is Judge Engoron, and
I might as well. Why not? This will sell my book. I can't wait to make my millions.
The start of this trial.
It's also set up. I want to read something to you because this was actually written by Andrew McCarthy. It's very well stated from the Messenger. It says the law does not, and this is actually what the judge is basing this off of. The law doesn't require a showing of harm. The state need not provide the defendant even intended to defraud anyone, much less actually defraud someone. It need not be established that any creditor or financial institution even relied on the defendant's misrepresentations, that those misrepresentations were material, or that anyone was actually fooled by them. The state just has to show that a defendant made false claims with enough persistence and repetition that at least two persons were affected, which, whatever that means, is not a synonym for harmed. It's very well put, and it shows just the complete circus that this is. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump breaking the law. This has to do with that Donald Trump was the president of the United States and they don't like him, period. They keep adding on. And all of these civil suits are just more fodder. The closer we get to the election, they'll ramp this up, and it's like a stage set. This is like the appetizer. The hors d'oeuvre is coming. The 5-star 5-course meal is going to come with talking about confidential documents, talking about stolen elections in Georgia, and they're going to slowly ramp this up. So the American public does what? There is such thing as criminal fatigue. As people are sick of Marvel superhero movies, as people are sick of Disney movies, as people got sick of COVID and following that crap, they're getting sick of this. It's not going to have the same effect that Democrats think. In fact, it will turn the court of public opinion on its ear. Here is the judge earlier in his life. I believe this was 2014. Listen to this.
Now, I'm going to say something controversial, even though I'm being taped. Juries get it wrong a lot. That's my own opinion. I do only civil trials, personal injury cases, contract disputes. But I've had situations where, like, oh my heaven's sake, how could they have thought that? Well, I have a tool that I can deal with that. It's called judgment notwithstanding the verdict. I can say there is no possible way that a reasonable jury would have reached that conclusion.
So he's talking about circumventing the juror's decision in a jury case. Now, there is a lot of controversy right now. I may not be an expert in real estate, and I openly admit that, or investment. But what I can tell you is that I know the law. And the interesting thing here is that people are upset that the lawyers for Donald Trump did not check a box requesting a trial by jury in this case. It's interesting. Do we really believe, does everyone believe on a standard form that a box wasn't checked requesting a jury, and that's not on purpose? Folks, there's no way Donald Trump is going to get a fair shake and a fair jury in New York. We've already established that with the E. Jean Carroll trial. So what do? They leave it blank. It creates the appearance, or at least the ability for them to come back and say, well, we would go ahead and believe that we were not going to get a fair shake. We should have changed the location of this. We needed a jury, but didn't think we could get it in New York. So what we're going to do is let the judge decide. A judge who has already demonstrated a bias against Donald Trump, a personal, just complete despot's opinion of him, who thinks that he is the worst human being on the planet. And this is going to lay the tracks for an appeal, because it's going to be easier to appeal that judge than it is going through this again with another jury. It's pretty simple. It's going to be easy to show this animus that this man has towards Donald Trump. And honestly, I believe it's just another move by the legal team that makes sense. It's what I would request. It's what I would come to. And I'm not even on trial. This whole thing is a sham. It's not going to make it to trial. But if you go ahead and not have a jury for this, you're going to save a lot of time getting to this judge being held accountable for his decision. And then he can go ahead and countersue this judge and Leticia James for what they did, and Donald Trump will most assuredly do that. Does that make sense to everybody, that it's going to narrow the timeline of this? And that's what Donald Trump's trying to do, is let this man do what they already know he's going to do, which is decide against Donald Trump, penalize him for $250 million some odd dollars, and then we immediately see a counter sue and appeal by Donald Trump and his team. Listen to the rest.
And all right, am I following the law or am I making law? Okay, I'm following law. I'm an impartial referee, but it's hard to factor out my own emotions. And I have tools.
You have a sitting judge that just said that I cannot remain impartial and not emotionally involved in a court's decision. That goes against every single teaching In law, justice is supposed to be blind. And the fact that this man openly admits that he can circumvent a jurist's decision, and also say that I cannot remain impartial and not emotionally involved, should disqualify him and disbar him from doing the job that he is charged to do.
Somebody can say, well, Your Honor, you have to throw out this case because it's just like another case. Well, is it just like another case? What if the defendant was wearing a red sweater instead of a blue sweater? Oh, and
Okay, so now you have a child's argument. It's like when I asked my kid to take out the trash. I'm like, dude, you did not take out the trash on Tuesday and Wednesday. It is now Friday. Bro, get the trash taken out. Enough. No, that's not true, Dad. I took out the trash. What are you talking about? No, I took out the trash. Well, no, you didn't. I just told you that you missed on Tuesday and Wednesday. Nuh-uh, I missed it on Monday and Thursday. You're wrong. That is like talking to my child, a 10-year-old child.
by the way, I worked for the Columbia Daily Spectator for a couple of weeks. What happened was I went there every day and I wrote a few stories. One I got criticized on because I wrote that some Ku Klux Klanners had murdered some people, and I was told, you can't say that. How do we know? You weren't there. Well, that was what everybody thought. But anyway, yeah, we should have absolute immunity. What if we defame somebody? That's how it usually comes up. You know, you call somebody a murderer or a heroin addict, that sort of thing, a pedophile. And if it's done in court, yeah, I think we should have absolute immunity.
Yeah, this guy is completely 3 sheets to the wind and a couple cans short of the 6-pack at the same time. This last one is Leticia James. I want you to see what she ran on, how she talks about this outside of trial. Here it is.
What is fueling my soul right now is Trump.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass.
I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, and then going home.
He said I know my name personally.
Yeah, certainly doesn't look like a setup to me. 100% above board. I can't wait for the next trials. Folks, this is just more of the same shit. And the interesting thing is we already have the lowest court of public opinion when it comes to our state legislature, our senators, our politicians in general. We don't trust the media. And now what's following suit, this epidemic that nobody trusts the criminal justice system. I wonder why, with such amazing factual cases brought against Donald Trump. More of the same, folks. We are still 13 months from the election, and it's just going to get worse. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. My name is Matthew Spear. No live tonight, but we will be back Wednesday. Do me a favor, stop by The Dumb Show, thedumbshow.com, and pick yourself up a cool shirt, a hat, some coffee, well, however you can support the show. Even if you just give us a like, follow, and share. If you don't have the money, that's fine too. It's not about that for me. It's about just covering these wonderful news events that are so factual and so righteous. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. We'll see you tomorrow.